Tina patted Hannah's leg and bent down. She smiled when she saw the slimy fountain dripping between them. It had been 3 days since Hannah caught her boyfriend cheating. She could still see the smug look on his face, his lack of remorse, as he shrugged off her tears. The betrayal stung. But even more painful was the nagging feeling that maybe something was wrong with her. Maybe she wasn't enough. That's why she packed her bags and rented a small beach house to escape the chaos, hoping 3 weeks by the sea could mend what felt broken. The first thing she noticed when she arrived was the fresh salty breeze. That made her feel like maybe, just maybe, healing was possible here. She walked up the wooden porch steps, unlocked the door, and pushed it open. "Oh my God!" Anna screamed. The woman inside screamed back, nearly dropping a paintbrush she had been holding. She was wearing a bright bohemian outfit, loose patterned pants with bold reds and blues, a cropped white tank top splattered with paint, and large handmade earrings that sway as she moves. A colorful scarf is tied around by her head as a headband, and her dark locks cascaded messily over her shoulders. "What the hell are you doing here?" the woman demanded, clutching the paintbrush tighter. I rented this place," Anna managed, her eyes darting around trying to understand the situation, her heart racing. The woman's eyes widened in disbelief. "You rented this place?" She pointed at herself, her expression wild with irritation. "So did I." They both ended up on the phone with the booking company, Anna pacing in the kitchen, while the woman, who introduced herself as Tina, was on a call, clearly fuming. After a long hold, the manager finally came on the line, full of apologies. "Sorry, ladies," he said with a sigh. "It seems we've made a mistake. Unfortunately, all our other properties are fully booked. We'll issue a full refund to whoever agrees to vacate. We are extremely sorry." Anna shot Tina a glare. "Well, I'm not leaving," she declared, her voice firm. She hugged her arms around herself, unwilling to lose this tiny sanctuary she had desperately needed. Tina crossed her arms, her eyebrows knitting together. "I'm not leaving, either. I have an art exhibition coming up in a month, and I get my best inspiration from the sea." Her dark eyes narrowed. "I need this space." After a few minutes of bickering, they ended up at an agreement. "Fine," Anne finally said, exasperated. "We'll both stay." "Fine," Tina snapped back. The first few days were tense and silent. Hannah stayed out of Tina's way as much as possible, busying herself with long walks on the beach and reading on the porch. Sometimes she would sneak a look at Tina's drawings. They were so beautiful. She was a really talented artist. She tried not to look at Tina too much, but sometimes she couldn't help herself. Tina would sit with her easel, painting with a focused intensity, her hair always wild, and her face scrunched up in concentration. There was something beautiful about it, like watching a storm gather over the sea. It was just admiration, nothing more. The first 3 days were awkward. They mostly ignored each other, walking around the small house like strangers, forced into an uncomfortable dance. At night, when the house grew quiet, Hannah would slip out to the beach. There, she let herself cry in the darkness, the sea witnessing her sorrow. It was easier to be vulnerable, where no one could see. One night, as she sat by the sea, with her knees pulled up to her chest, she heard a soft voice behind her. "You know," Tina said, stepping closer. "It's okay to cry. You don't have to hide it." Hannah quickly wiped her eyes, her face heating up. "I'm not crying," she said defensively. Tina's expression softened. "Liar," she said gently, sinking down beside her. For a moment, the only sounds were the waves and their quiet breathing. Then, Anna sighed, the weight of her sadness spilling out. She told Tina about her ex-boyfriend and how he cheated on her. Hannah felt the tears coming again. "I don't know what's wrong with me," Anna whispered. "Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one who's undeserving of love." Tina turned to her, her face serious. "Don't say that," she said firmly. "You're not the problem. You're beautiful. And you're worth more than you think." Something in Hannah's heart cracked open at Tina's words. She looked at Tina. And for the first time, she saw how kind her eyes were. How warm her voice sounded. When she spoke softly, it made her feel vulnerable. In a weird way. And she hated it. The days went on. And their connection deepened. They started talking more. Conversations that drifted from the mundane to the meaningful. One afternoon, they played a game on the beach, racing each other to the water's edge. Hannah hadn't laughed like that in ages. Her heart light and free. For the first time in weeks. After that, they decided to ride the water bikes. Hannah was scared, but Tina wasn't. Tina is someone that takes risks and break rules. The opposite of Hannah. When they got down, they walked home barefooted in the sand talking, while drinking coconut water. Hannah watched as Tina spoke. She felt so happy. A kind of happiness she hasn't felt in a while. One evening, as they sat down, Hannah attempted to draw Tina. She wasn't an artist, and her sketch came out awful. Tina's eyes lopsided. Her hair a scribbled mess. And big lips. Tina burst into laughter, clutching her stomach. "Oh my God. Is that supposed to be me?" she teased, tears forming in the corners of her eyes. Hannah couldn't help but laugh, her cheeks flushing. "Hey, don't be mean. I tried." "Okay." Tina's laughter was infectious. And soon, they were both lying in the sand, breathless and happy. The joy was simple, effortless. But even in those moments, Hannah felt that strange, nagging flutter in her chest. Whenever she looked at Tina, it confused her. She was used to liking men. That's just how things were. But Tina's presence made her question everything. One night, they watched a movie together. On the couch, a bowl of popcorn balanced between them. Something funny happened on the screen, and they laughed, leaning into each other. Suddenly, their faces were so close that Hannah could feel Tina's breath against her lips. Their laughter faded, and for a moment, their eyes met, and it felt like something electric passed between them. But then the moment passed, and they pulled away awkwardly. "Good night," Tina whispered, her voice low. "Good night," Hannah echoed as she got to her room. She couldn't stop thinking about how her heart had raced, how much she had wanted to close that small distance between them. She took a pillow and screamed into it. "What is wrong with me?" Hannah fought her feelings. She told herself it was just confusion. Just her mind playing tricks. But the more she tried to deny it, the more she found herself drawn to Tina's laughter. Her smile. The way she twirled her locks when she was deep in thought. It was maddening. Then one night, they sat on the couch, talking. Tina opened up about her life, her art, and her dreams. She told Hannah how she was an orphan who moved from foster home to foster home. She didn't know her parents. All she was told was that a young teenager came to drop her at the orphanage home. She said she had no intentions of finding them. The conversation felt heavier, more intimate, and Hannah found herself leaning closer. Without thinking, she reached out, and before she knew it, they kissed. It was slow, gentle, and terrifyingly perfect. Anna pulled away, her heart pounding, and panic filled her chest. "I'm sorry," she whispered. She bolted from the house, running to the beach, feeling like the world was spinning out of control. Tina didn't follow. Anna spent hours sitting by the water, trying to understand the storm inside her. Yet, she couldn't deny how right the kiss had felt. Over the next few days that followed, things became awkward. Again, when they met each other in the kitchen or bumped into each other, Hannah wouldn't meet Tina's eyes. One night Tina got tired of it. She went to Hannah's door, banging it. When Hannah came to the door, Tina gave her a look. "I don't like this silence and awkwardness." "Fine. We had a moment. We got carried away. But we are adults. We can put it behind us. Let's go back to how we were." "Agreed," Hannah smiled. Agreed. They went back to how they were spending late night gisting while Tina paints. Over the next few days, things grew complicated. They kept getting closer, almost inseparable. And it felt more and more like they were falling in love. One morning Hannah talked about how she missed egusi soup. And she didn't like the one at the restaurant. She brought an idea, saying they should cook it. Tina smiled. "I love the idea, but I have a confession to make." "What?" Anna asked. "I can't cook. At all." Tina laughed. "Are you serious?" Anna replied. "Like you mean nothing at all?" "Well, not everything. I make the most delicious noodles, 5 stars restaurant standard." They both laughed at that. They went to the market, shopping for ingredients. And Tina suggested they get wine too. Tina assisted with cutting of onions and a few other vegetables. They gisted and talked while Hannah cooked. They ate dinner outside. After they finished, they drank wine. They were already halfway down the bottle and tipsy. Anna could feel Tina stealing glances at her. She looked at Tina. "I feel sleepy. I should go to bed." Tina nodded. "Yes, me too." But nobody moved. They both stared at each other, tension and desire in the air. Tina leaned in to kiss her. And this time, Hannah didn't hold back. She let every burning desire she fought out. She kissed her back, hungrily inhaling the sweet scent of vanilla. Tina smiled. "Relax. This is your first time with a girl. I want you to remember it." She carried Hannah to the bed and gently pulled her clothes down. She started by stroking her nipples, so gently that Hannah felt like she was in heaven. Her body rippled, with different emotions: desire, anger, lust, fear, and love. Tina patted Hannah's legs and bent down. She smiled when she saw the slimy fountain dripping between them. With one glance at Hannah, she dived in. Hannah held the bedsheets as she felt her body ripple with intense ecstasy. In the morning, Hannah woke up in Tina's bed to break fast in bed. "I ordered it." Tina smiled. Hannah didn't know what to say. Tina sat beside her. "Don't tell me you regret last night." Hannah looked up. "I don't. But Tina, I know you want more than this. I don't think it's possible with me." "Eat your food, it's getting cold," Tina responded. A few days passed, and Tina brought it up again. But Hannah turned her down. When the last day at the beach house came, Hannah still couldn't bring herself to face her feelings. They said goodbye, and Tina stood on the porch, tears streaming down her face. Hannah left Tina, even though it broke her heart. She tried to convince herself she was doing the right thing, that her feelings for Tina were too confusing, too strange. But the emptiness was unbearable. 1 week later, Tina's art exhibition arrived. The gallery buzzed with people. But Tina felt hollow. She moved through the event, her art on full display. One of her paintings, titled Love, was a tribute to her time with Hannah. It captures the sea, the laughter, the unspoken longing. "A love that comes once in a lifetime," she said, explaining the piece to a buyer. She heard a voice behind her. "Well," the voice said, a little shaky, "do you believe in a love like that?" Tina turned around, her heart leaping into her throat. There stood Hannah, eyes glistening with unshed tears. Without thinking, Tina ran to her, wrapping her arms around her. "I'm sorry," Hannah whispered, her voice breaking. "I should have never left you." Tina pulled her close, tears falling freely now. "I missed you so much," she choked out. Hannah smiled through her tears. "Me too," she said. "More than you could ever know. Also, I couldn't live without tasting your 5 stars noodles." Tina laughed and hugged Hannah again. "I love you so much." "I love you too," she replied.